And we are live, Bobby. How you doing?
It's magical, my friend. I'm
It's
fantastic and amazing. I stole your line.
I
How are you,
hey,
buddy?
I'm amazing and fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
You got it backwards there, but that's okay. It's the same thing.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God. I can't. I don't know about you, but my weekend, just like it was here, it was gone. Now it's Tuesday. I mean, kind of the good thing is that we're almost midweek, so I'm a very happy camper.
Yeah. What'd you do this weekend? This past weekend?
Hung out at the house, took a mountain drive, drove up towards North Carolina. Actually went into North Carolina towards Asheville, but
Hmm.
didn't go all the way to Asheville. So, how about yourself? Did you go back to the beach and tone us off?
We did.
Of course you did.
Yeah. It's becoming a weekend tradition. That's 3 weeks in a row we've gone. Um, and it's been surprisingly very busy at the beach.
Mm,
See,
mm-hmm,
the thing is, you see in Charleston, there's three main beaches, right? So you
mm-hmm.
got Folly, Isle of Palms, and Sullivan's Island. Sullivan's Island and Isle of Palms are right next to each other. But so Sullivan's Island is still on this thing where they won't even let you bring beach chairs, no coolers, no umbrellas. So basically, they're saying you can walk down the beach and that's it, or F off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody that normally goes to Sullivan's Island is now going to Isle of Palms. All the people that normally go to Isle of Palms are at Isle of Palms, and all the tourists from Ohio and New York,
Mm-hmm.
mainly, that come down every summer to the Isle of Palms. So the Isle of Palms looks like spring break, dude. It's crazy.
I saw your
Um,
what was it? A tweet that you sent out last week, and you said there's half of Ohio State's fan base,
that
something
was
like that.
that was a pic. Yeah, that was from Myrtle Beach, though. Yeah, that wasn't from Charleston, but
Uh, I got
yeah,
you. I
yeah.
got
But
you.
that's
I mean, it's accurate, but
yeah, definitely accurate. Looks like we got Clemson Carson in here. Talk to the Paul. What's up, man? Nate the Great, don't be late, aka Nate Kingston. Hey Nate, let me know when you get that shirt, buddy. It should be in there any day now. It it shipped out on last Thursday, so you should be getting it by today or the next or tomorrow or the next day. I would think. Uh, Talk to the Paul says he's been to the Isle of Palms. Yeah, it's a very popular beach in the state. You've been there before, haven't you, Bobby?
Isle of Palms, yes. And my wife and I got married on Folly
Oh
Beach.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. That
Yeah,
was a lot of fun. A lot
yeah,
of fun.
yeah. I actually like Folly the best.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's more what you here see. It's changed over the past few years. It's more. It used to be more local people went to Folly, and then the
Mm-hmm.
tourists went to Isle of Palms.
Mm-hmm.
But Folly's starting to become a little bit touristy now too. And it also used to be that Folly was the only beach in Charleston where you are allowed to drink alcohol on the beach. Now it doesn't really matter because people do it anyway.
Oh, of course.
But you can get a ticket. It's $1,000 ticket if you're caught. Um, but what happened was there was a major fight. Like I think it was either on Memorial Day or Fourth of July, one of those holidays, like 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a huge fight broke out. A bunch of whatever 20s kids, like a big brawl broke out, and then the police came, and then they started attacking the police. It was just this whole. It was just a excuse my language shit show. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So what happened was the residents of Folly finally said they had enough and they were tired of the drunken 20 somethings coming and having their way on the beach. So they finally passed no alcohol ordinance on that beach too. But again, people still drink. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, that's always, is that not always the case? Somebody comes in, does something really, really stupid, and then all of us pay for it. I just say ban them for like 10 years or something. You know, I mean, I know you're not really gonna be able to quote unquote police that, but
yeah.
it's just like, man, it's
So
I get why they did it, but
RG says your volume's really low.
really,
Yeah.
uh
It sounds a
oh,
little bit low to me, but I mean, of course, I have headphones on, so it's easier for me to hear you than it
let
is
me
for
see,
everybody else to hear you.
let me see. Maybe I'll just start screaming.
I mean, if the volume's all the way up on your thing,
Yeah,
then
yeah, it is. Yeah,
I mean on this
yeah.
on
I'll
the
try.
StreamYard thing.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Let me
Oh, okay.
see. I'll make sure. I'll make sure because I could be wrong. Ask my wife. I've been wrong before.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Hmm.
All right. Well, I don't know. Maybe I
Yeah,
don't know. It could just be mine's ultra loud.
yeah,
So
maybe it is.
in
Hey,
comparison, your sound.
Pete, you're talking over me, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, just try to use your outside voice then, Bobby.
All right. You'll go deaf. Everybody will hear me fine.
Pigskin Pete, have you been to the beaches near Hilton Head? I visit the Hilton Head beaches the most. I have, not in a long time though. So my dad and I used to go up to the MCI. I don't know what they call it now. It's the Heritage. It's the PGA Tour tournament every year, the week after the Masters on Hilton Head at Harbortown Golf Course. Anyway, so we used to go up there every year, but it's been at least 10 years since I've been, so I haven't been there in a long time.
Wow.
All right, so I see a lot of people saying, "Please let us have football. Please let us have football." Yeah, that's what we're here to talk about tonight. Nate the Great, don't be late, wants to let us know he puts cream cheese on pizza. I think he told me that before, and I let him know that he's like in his early 20s, so he's still a young man. But you start doing that when you're our age, Bobby, you're gonna have some serious issues.
Yeah, you drop dead. That's what happens. You have the conversation I had with my doctor where he looks at me and goes, "Let's talk about these numbers." And normally I'm happy to talk about numbers, especially if they're in my favor. Not in my favor. Very, very bad. Horrible, awful. And yeah, that's you enjoy it, sir. You enjoy it. Yeah. When I was 17, I told my dad. When I was 17, I told my dad, I said, "Man, I'm in such great shape." And I mean, I could just run and run and run and run. When I'd go to the gym and play ball, I had guys actually ask me, like away from everybody, "What are you on?" Because I could just run pickup game after pickup game, and I could, I
They
could
thought you were
do
on
my
meth or
best.
something.
They did. I thought I was on coke. And so I told my dad, I was like, um, I just don't see myself like ever leaving this. And he laughed at me. He said, "You get about mid-30s, it's really going to change for you." And I told him, I said, and we called him the old man. I mean, it was no disrespect. He laughed about everything. I said, "Old man, you just wait and see." The old man was right. I got to my mid-30s, man. It's totally different.
Yeah, things change.
I like.
Things change. All right, so Bubba Clemson's in here. George wants to leave a super chat, but he doesn't have enough money. That's all right, George, buddy. You know you don't have to do that.
We do take a belly button fuzz.
Yes, right. That
I'm
too.
actually afraid that George would send belly button fuzz.
Yeah, I was going to say you're asking the wrong person to do that because he will he will actually do it. He'd probably send worse than that.
Yeah, I'm afraid.
All right, topic of discussion tonight is, unfortunately, I wish we had better news.
Mm-hmm.
But the good news is we don't have any terrible news.
Yeah.
So we don't have them coming out and saying that the season's canceled, which is obviously the worst case scenario.
Right.
Started with the Big Ten. What was that? Was that Thursday or Friday? Yeah. Last Thursday, the Big Ten announced they're going to a conference-only schedule. I think the next day, the Pac-12 fell in line, said the same thing. The ACC and the SEC have both said that they are waiting another couple of weeks. So basically the end of this month to make any sort of a decision. Now, I don't know if they've already made a decision and they're not announcing it yet, or if they're really waiting to make a decision. I hope the latter, because we don't know how things are going to look in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Right. But anyway, I still feel like all the conferences are probably going to go to a conference only schedule just for the ease of the situation. So they don't have to worry about they can somewhat control what happens in their conference. They can't control outside of it.
Yeah, of course.
Because there is no main person that makes decisions for all the conferences. It's every conference is independent. So I think just for the ease of it, you'll see a conference only schedule pretty much across the board. And then, but the question is, this is where it gets interesting, because we were just talking before this stream here. The Pac-12 has said they're making way for a 10th game. So they're going to play conference only, but they're playing 10 conference games. So they're only knocking off 2 games off of their schedule, which isn't terrible, especially if they're going to be cupcake games anyway. It doesn't really matter. But they also knocked off some of their big, out conference games like Oregon and Ohio State. But anyway, so for Clemson, if they went to conference only, and everybody else in the ACC, but I'm going to focus on Clemson for the purposes of this conversation, that would do the 8 normal conference games we play, and that would leave room for 2 more. Now, Notre Dame is a big game, the biggest game on the schedule this year. And then the other one would be the in-state rival, our favorite Dookie Peckers up there in Columbia.
Yeah.
Or down there in Columbia, from where you are.
Yeah, down there. When you said that, I was like, down there or up there, and then I realized where you're located geographically. I went,
yes,
right.
Yes, I'm south of there. Yes.
Yeah. If anybody who's watching this doesn't know where we're located, and you actually accurately reference it, and I reference it from where we are geographically, people really think we're stupid.
Yeah, that's true. But
those idiots are confused.
They think I'm stupid anyways.
Oh, they have quite an opinion about me, and I appreciate it.
Hey, you know who I talked to the other day? I was on Alonzo's stream on whatever. I think it was on Saturday.
Okay.
And see, he had on Hurricane T2Y, the guy that made that video about you.
Yes, really.
Yeah, and he said, I didn't know that was him that made that video, but he said that you're starting to grow on him. He's starting to like you now.
You know that I'm just like that stray cat. No pun intended, because Bobby kills cats for a living for the county. But I'm like that stray cat that you're like shooing away, and I just keep showing up. And then you love me. You take me into your home, and I get hair all over your black sweaters and stuff. But I'm there, and you love me. So yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome. I think he thought that Bobby Durkins was a real person originally.
You know how much that thrills me.
Yeah,
you know how much that thrills me. That is awesome. But hey, man, listen, let's talk about the real game that we're losing here, Pete. Okay. Akron Zips. We're not playing the Akron
Zips. Well, we don't know that yet because they haven't said. They haven't said, but we're going to assume that we're not, right?
I assume that we're not, and we're not going to get to play the Citadel, and anyway.
So do you think that we're going to go? Are you agreeing with what I think, or? I mean, do you still think that we're going to find a way to play Notre Dame? Because, look, as far as I'm concerned, they're in the ACC, even though they don't want to admit it. They're not financially because they don't split their football revenue with us. But let's face it, they play 80% of an ACC schedule.
Yeah, it's laughable when you look at their schedule from the past few years since that whole agreement went on. You're looking at 4 or 5 ACC games. And it's like, come on. And what I said before we went on air was, if we make their season happen and accommodate them, it's time for big boys in business suits to close the doors and have a conversation. We saved you, my friend. We saved you. Was the Big Ten knocking on your door saying, hey, want to come play a game? No, it was us. So join the conference. Call it a day, and be done with it. Now, if we, I don't know, man. I just all I can say is I see it happening. I see the game happening. But as soon as I say that, I just have this weird feeling that Notre Dame, just out of nowhere, something would happen, and it's gone. And we've been looking forward to that game since the last time we played them. Deshaun Watson was a sophomore when we played them. So it seems like it wasn't that long ago, but it was that long ago. But we've been looking forward to this game. I know you bought tickets to it. You're supposed to go up South Bend.
Yeah, I got tickets to it.
It's just, man, that would be pissy if it got canceled.
Yeah, I think that Notre Dame will be allowed to play 9 games in the ACC, and if they want to go pick up Navy or something because they play Navy every year, something like that'll happen. They're not playing Stanford or USC, which they play every year because the Pac-12 said no to that already.
Yeah.
But so I think that's how we'll see it. Now, I finished strong here. Says COVID will kill college football because anti-mask people will not do the right thing. you can forget about college football. And I'll tell you one thing, I disagree with him, but he echoes the feelings of a lot of people. So I'm not even saying I'm right either. He could be 100% right. I still feel as if we're going to have a season, whether it's probably not 12 games because what we're talking about, but almost a full season. I don't think it's going to get canceled.
Well, I hope not. I hope not.
I'm seeing a lot of people say they're 50-50. Michael Sachs Jr., how you doing, sir, says he's 50-50. Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you turn, I don't watch Paul Feinbaum's show because I think it's boring. Yeah. But I do. He's always on my timeline on Twitter for some reason. People that I follow or that follow me must retweet his stuff or whatever or like it, and it pops up on my timeline. Every single day, he's got a new person on there from Yahoo Sports, Athlon Sports, Fox Sports, whatever, saying that there's not going to be college football this year. I mean, it's like one doomsday scenario after another on the Paul Feinbaum show these days, and I don't know what if they have inside information that we don't have, because the powers that be. Right, the conference commissioners and so on and so forth are not saying what these people are saying. They're saying the opposite. So I don't know who to believe.
I think that it is marketing at its finest. I mean, what is there to talk about right now? There's really nothing to talk about. Major sports is blah. It's done. It's over with. I mean, I think you can actually watch two old men in West Virginia smack each other in the face for $1 if you pay it and go on to Zoom. You can watch them. They're charging because everybody's so desperate to see sports. But there's nothing to talk about in sports. So one of the great things about a channel, especially it's dedicated to SEC football, and then ESPN, it's dedicated to just sports, is when you have sports, you have it nonstop. When you don't have sports, like we do now, they're having to drum up stuff. I mean, they're just having to drum it up. So I have mixed feelings on this whole thing, but when it comes to Feinbaum and it comes to the major networks, I mean, guys, it's a business. The easiest thing to get people like us to talk about is the possibility to watch and join in and actually stop and listen. Like you said, you really don't pay attention to Paul Feinbaum, nor do I. Is to get people to talk about the possibility of a season being canceled.
Yeah. I feel like if you're a sports, because the people say, I don't know about how Paul Feinbaum feels about it personally, but the people he's having on from these sports networks, you would think that the people from the sports networks would stand more of a benefit, especially in the next couple of months, talking about actual sports than talking about not having sports. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're right, but it doesn't surprise me. It's not really. I mean, sports is different, but it's not really any different than politics. When you turn on this whatever CNN or Fox News or any of those 24-hour news channels, it's all negativity all the time.
That is.
And sports right now, I guess, because of everything that's been going on, it's not much different. And then, frankly, we haven't really had a reason to be very optimistic when every single sport, from peewee baseball all the way up through NBA and everything else, has been canceled.
Yeah. You know what we should do if the season is canceled? You and I should get together and wear our mask, and we should. And what we'll do for the mask, we'll make it decorative. We'll put our numbers of our mask right here, or maybe a political statement, because that would be great. And you and I will go out and we will play these games against each other. You get your boys, I'll get my boys, and just every week, we'll have to flip a coin who's Clemson and who's, Doo-Doo State, who are they playing, and we'll play the game, and we can have our wives have a few drinks while they narrate the game. By the end of the game, I don't even care if the game is even good. Their commentary would be amazing.
Yeah, you don't want those problems, Bobby. No. That sounds like a terrible idea.
It's a awesome idea. Full of them.
Oh, what was I just? Damn, I lost the. Anyway, I lost the comment. It was Richard Williams said he thinks football is a go, but the ACC will certainly bail out Notre Dame. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Talk to the Paul with a $1.99 donation says, do you think even Georgia Tech could beat USC Junior? In 2020, probably not. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, USC they did only win 4 games last year, which is I think the same amount that Georgia Tech won. And South Carolina does have a problem beating lower tier ACC teams, and especially Will Muschamp. He's over, I think. He might have one win against NC State.
I think he does. I think he does.
But they got blown. They got zeroed 28-0 against Virginia.
That was great.
Who else have they lost to in the ACC? North Carolina. They lost. They lost to North Carolina, and then of course they lost a bunch of times to the Tigers. So
yeah, team with orange.
Mm-hmm. I want to say they might have played somebody else in the ACC too. I can't remember. Virginia Tech, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. They lose so much; it's hard to keep up with exactly who they lose to and how much they've lost to them.
It's true.
It really is. I mean, seriously, think about it. I got to tell this one. You're going to love this, and I hope to God she doesn't see it. But my dad has a friend. I'll put it that way, who has a friend who is dating someone. Just follow that. And this person is a Gamecock fan, a huge Gamecock fan. So he's trash talking with my dad, who's a huge Clemson fan. He currently lives right outside of Clemson. And so they got to talking about the whole, Clemson dominance, all this bunch of stuff. And the South Carolina fan gets really, really upset. What does this moron do? He pulls up highlights from 2013. God is my witness. Now think about that. We are 7 years removed, and he pulls up highlights of 2013 and says, take a look at that. I mean, think about that. That's how bad their football team is.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what bowl game did they go to in 2013? Was that
it's always a safe bet to say Capital One Bowl. That's the highest bowl they've ever been to. They get really pissed off about it when you talk about it.
I'm pretty sure it was that might have been the Outback Bowl year when Jadeveon Clowney when they beat Michigan.
Yeah.
And remember Clowney hit that guy and his helmet flew off?
Yeah. We heard about that.
I don't know. I could be wrong about that. That might have been 2012. I don't know. Somewhere around there.
I know the last good bowl. I'm looking this up as we're speaking. Can you still see me? I'm just asking. Can you still see me good? All right. I was just wondering because how this app is working on here. It's the first time I've done this. I actually went off screen so that you can see me. It's kind of odd. But anyway, I do know that 2014 was the last good year that they had, and they beat Wisconsin. And that was the Capital One Bowl. But I believe you are right. The South Carolina played in the Outback Bowl, and yeah, that's when they thought big things were happening.
Yeah, well, I can tell you what Clemson was doing in 2013. They were beating Ohio State in the Orange Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So now the game might have been played technically in January of 2014, but it was a 2013 season, though.
I was wrong. 2014. It was not 2014. 2013 was the Capital One Bowl against Wisconsin, so I was wrong. 2013 was their last. I got to look this up, man. I mean,
see, bowls are always confusing because if they're played after the new year, then you get the year wrong. Yeah.
So I'm pulling up the 2014 South Carolina Gamecocks. They were 7-6 that year. It's a glorious
7-6.
Glorious 7-6.
Oh, but Bobby, it's because their schedule was so hard. You didn't know that?
Oh, yeah. Losing to Missouri that year must have been hard, and losing to Kentucky and losing to Tennessee in overtime, and yeah. Anyway, I could just dog on them all I want to. I bought a mask, haven't worn it yet, but this is Richard Williams. I bought a mask,
Yeah.
haven't worn it yet, but I will if they require it to get into the beer cooler. I like that, man. I
Yeah.
like that.
And you know what? They do require it here to get into the beer cooler. Are
Mm.
are they I'm sure they're requiring it up there too, aren't they?
If you're in downtown Greenville, yes, and then certain stores are requiring it. So I went into Costco in it's right off of Woodruff Road
I know Costco.
on
Yeah,
on
that's
Friday.
that's a national policy for them.
On it was 3:30 in the afternoon on Friday. I went
Yeah.
in, and just want to let you know that the very age group who is dying from this mess, they were packed in there like sardines with their little mask on, looking at each other, just really, really happy. And I'm like, have y'all seen the mortality rate for your group? Not good. Not good. I'm not making fun of it. I know somebody's going to go, that's pretty tone deaf. Yeah, I can be tone deaf, and you're stupid. But I'm just telling you that I was like, I come home and told my wife, I said, when I say minority, I'm talking about like I was one of the youngest people there, and the place was packed at 3:30 on a Friday, and I was like, this is a bad idea, horrible idea,
Yeah.
horrible idea. But anyway, yeah, it's interesting. Melissa May says, "Hey Pete and Bobby." Hey Melissa May.
Hello, Melissa. How are you? Oi Plap
Mm-hmm.
says, "Hello, Poppy Pete. One question: Are you furry? A furry? I have no idea what the hell a furry is, sir, and I'm sure I don't want to know. So no, the answer is no.
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, Richard Williams. Richard Williams. He's my father-in-law. By everybody, I think you
Oh
are.
yeah, hey Richard Williams.
Yes.
Hey buddy.
So he says, he's talking to me. He says, you know where I live, no masks enforced here. Yeah, he lives in such a small town that I don't know what is the population of that town. I bet you it's. I mean, a couple thousand, and it's very, very spread out. Maybe very spread out geographically. You're talking about a town that doesn't even have a stoplight. One of those deals, one grocery store, a couple of gas stations. That's about it.
I like that place. It sounds good to me.
Well, it is beautiful. It's right in the valley of the mountains. It's right outside of Roanoke in Salem, Virginia.
Wow.
It's beautiful up there.
I imagine it is.
Yeah, that's a good old country living up there. What's up, Everlasting Chaos says, "What's up, guys? Go Dogs!
Go Dogs!"
Hey, speaking of the dogs, you hear about this JT Daniels from Georgia, or the guy that transferred from Southern Cal to Georgia?
I saw that yesterday that he was granted immediate eligibility.
This guy got a decision faster than anybody I've ever seen. He just announced like 6 weeks ago he's transferring. I don't even know if it was that long. It was like a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they gave him immediate, and I don't know why either. I don't know what the reason. I feel like during this COVID thing, they're just going to give anybody who asked for it, they're just going to give it to them. It's like, hey, I want to transfer because I have a hangnail. All right, you're granted.
Now, question.
Yeah.
Do you think that they would grant you and I eligibility?
Well, you got to be good enough to play first, though. I mean,
who cares? Who cares? I mean, think about this. I'm going to paint this unrealistic picture for you, my friend.
Yeah.
Think about this. So a bunch of the boys on the team has COVID. Like all the good players, they're not playing. Dabo gets desperate. He gets really desperate. You and I throw our name in the pot. She say, Brian, we have to be enrolled. We'll take care of that later. They grant us immediate eligibility. Think about this, Pete. Think about it. I didn't say it would be good, but think about it. This would be awesome.
I haven't read the small print because I feel like college football might be a little bit like the military. There's an age limit?
I don't think there is. Because remember there was a
you can't be 40 years old and play college football.
I'm pretty sure you can.
You can?
It all comes down to eligibility. I'm almost somebody look that up. We're fired up over here. Somebody look it up.
I'd pull a hamstring on the opening kickoff, dude.
Oh, no, I'd pull a groin muscle going down the hill.
Clemson Higster says JT Daniels will be the starter at Georgia. I completely disagree. Yeah,
I'm with you there. I think Jamie Cumbie. I think I'm going about way back in time with Clemson. Jamie Newsom. I think he's the man.
Jamie
I think
Newman.
he's the man.
Newman, yeah.
Yeah, Newman. Yeah.
Yeah. Or Newsom too. I
really,
don't know. Maybe.
I'm really messing up his name, man. Named out Jamie Cumbie, who was going to play for Notre Dame and come to Clemson. Then I named out Jamie Newsom. That's probably a race car driver. I don't know.
I think it is. I think it is.
Is he really?
I think so. I think it sounds like it could be.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I don't watch racing, but or so I couldn't name probably half of the racers now. Maybe 10 15 years ago I could, but half of them are retired.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I disagree. I think Jamie Newman's going to be the starter there. First of all, JT Daniels came off of a bad injury last year or last season. I think that's part of the reason he got granted the waiver. So he had the starting job, got injured. Another really highly rated quarterback, I can't even remember what his name is, came in and played really well and basically took JT Daniels' job from him.
And did he get hurt too?
I think he did, but Newman's way more experienced than JT Daniels is, and Newman only has, I think, one more year of eligibility left, whereas JT is only a sophomore, or he was redshirted. I don't know, whatever he's still got 3 years or something though. So they're not in any hurry to start JT Daniels.
If I'm a Georgia fan right now, okay, so we already saw the fiasco with Justin Fields. All right, if I'm a Georgia fan right now, I am staring at Kirby Smart going, all right, you got 2 ball slingers. Don't mess this up. Don't mess this up. This is ridiculous. You're already on a short leash because you let Justin Fields get away. So if I'm a Georgia fan, I'm eyeballing him right now because he has a chance. He really does.
Junkyard Dog says, Bobby, there was once a 50-year-old linebacker. Now that played in college. I don't know if he's trolling or not. I don't. If so, who was that? I'm like,
let's look. I'm going to
50. Not even 50-year-olds in any level of football.
I know on the old TV show from the early 90s, Coach, they had a player that was old that came in and played. But, once again, that was a TV show. But I'm going to look this up. Oldest player.
And I'm talking about somebody who actually played too, not some feel good figurehead story where they let him play one special teams play and he didn't do anything, like Rudy, right? Like you remember when Rudy played that one play in that one game and got a sack? Yeah. Was it like a Rudy situation?
Let me see.
Mike. He says Mike Flint is his name. I mean, he's acting like this is real, so he might be right, but
this is odd because I'm seeing a response. Okay, let me see. Can a 40-year-old play college football? According to athleticscholarships.net, I don't know anything about that, so but it says there's an age limit for NCAA Division I, Division II sports. The NCAA allows 1 year, but go right above it. If you type in oldest player to play college football in Google search, the first thing you're going to see is Joe Thomas Sr. made college football history by appearing as a running back for South Carolina State. Thomas, at the age of 55, is believed to be the oldest player.
Oh, I do remember seeing something on that on TV.
Yeah, so I don't know how.
But he played again. That was like a Rudy situation.
Yeah.
He played like I don't know how many. It wasn't many. He wasn't a starter and he didn't play regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Hey, what's up? Look who's in here. The Sports Fury.
The Sports Fury showed up.
Yeah,
I don't know. This honor.
I don't know if this is Josh or Sean or both. But what's up, fellas? Slim Shady Canes with a 305 for the Miami area code super chat says Rudy was offsides. And he has the old poop emoji on there.
That's great. I'm not surprised. That was good to have him on the show last week. That was fun.
Wait, but so maybe when Joe Thomas Sr. played at 55 years old at South Carolina State, like you just said, that was a long time ago, right? Was that in the 80s or 90s, maybe 80s?
I want to say it was
Maybe
2016.
No.
Yeah. Let me go back.
2016.
Heck yeah. Yeah, let me go back to this. I'm pulling up my history. Oh my God, my wife is buying what? I need to get off of this. I just pulled up my history on my on my computer.
Uh-oh.
What she's buying. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, what's up? It's Josh. It's Josh from Sports Sphere. What's up, buddy?
Okay. I'm back to Joe Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from 2016, November 19th, 2016. Blah, 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 blah. Thomas, at the age of 55, believed to be those player. He is the father of Green Bay Packers linebacker Joe Thomas Jr. Let me see.
Must have been a lot of Joe Thomases, because remember Joe Thomas, the lineman that played for Cleveland forever.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently. Yeah. He this was on November the 19th. They handed off the ball to the guy, and he rushed for 3 yards. So he actually played
in 2016.
Yes, South Carolina State. Yep, and he was playing against Savannah State.
Wow. So one play, just like Rudy.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so I guess there's not technically an age limit then.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well. Junkyard Dog says Tyler Simmons was on sides. Don't deny it, Gumps. RG wants to know if you can play us a song about the 2020 season. This is going to turn into request hour.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw this. I did a video the other night as Bobby where I answered all questions in the form of a song. Very bothersome.
I think I did see that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. Let's see. I'll have to go over here and get the old guitar out of the case, but I'm always happy to oblige with a few musical numbers to lift the spirit.
What's that one right? Isn't there one right behind you right there?
Yeah, but that's an electric, so you can't
really
hear it
okay. I can't see it. I can only see the top of it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful guitar. I'm taking the headphones off. Hold on a sec. Can you hear me?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's what my wife says. She wakes up in the morning, turns over, looks, and goes, "You again."
Bubba Clemson. Hey, listen to that. I can hear myself.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't dig that either. Sorry about that.
It says I'm relying on Bobby Durkins doing research on a computer when he can't even get his microphone to work.
That's right, Bubba Clemson.
Yeah.
That's where we're at in this thing.
He's got a point there. Michael Sachs Jr., what is Bobby's channel? His channel is Bobby Durkins. Dirkens.
Yeah.
Bobby Durkins. Yep. What's up, Snake Spence? Vodka Drinker says 2020 season is dead and bloated. That's a good one. That's all right, man. Putting him on the spot's good. I always enjoy a good musical show from him. If there is no age limit, can Ed Reed and Andre Johnson come back to work on their master's degree? Yeah, of course. Plus, you know what? I think most schools will allow you, if you had a scholarship at some point, and let's say you leave early to go to the pros, I think they'll let you come back and finish your degree, and you don't even have to be on the team. I mean, I know that Dabo Swinney does that. I don't know if that's every school does that or not. And we've had several come back too. Like after they get done playing in the NFL or something, they'll come back just to get their degree for a year. And still play. As good as Ed Reed is, I don't think he could keep up with those youngins out there. How old's Ed Reed now? He's got to be what, mid to late 40s. He's older than Tom Brady, ain't he?
Mm-hmm.
And that's old.
That's old. That's old. You know, as I sit here and I think about this upcoming season, I've got my guitar in my hand, and I'm about to tune it, which is one of the most annoying sounds that you can hear. It always sounds like confused old people trying to figure out where exactly am I. Can you hear the guitar? Can you hear the guitar, Pete?
Oh yes. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. I can hear it. Yeah.
I love it when my kids get a hold of my guitar and retune it for daddy. It's horrible. All right, well, I'm going to have to channel my Durkins, and then when I channel my Durkins, I have to put the hat on and take the glasses off.
All right. Well, the question was, or not the question, the request was, if 2020 were a football season, what would it be like?
I'm letting inspiration hit me. Just give me a second.
All right.
Another second. I'll give you something. It's like watching South Carolina play football. No matter how hard they work, no matter how much they recruit, they suck playing football. I've written better, but 2020 sucks. No matter how where we turn, it's just like watch South Carolina play football in the fall. It's been a long day.
That's all right. That's all right. He put you on the spot. Melissa May says, but who has 2020 played, Pete? Halo. What's up, sir?
Let's Bobby's here now. Forget that Brian guy. He's such a dweeb. I hate him.
Slim Shady. Brady won his first Super Bowl the same year Reed won a national championship, sir. No, that's not right. Is it? Yeah, well, let's see. That would have been. Yeah, you might actually. That's right. He's right. All right, so I was wrong. Anyway, he's still old. Anybody else have any more requests for Bobby here?
This is the time to get it out of your system.
Yes.
Because if you don't, I'm bringing that loser back. I saw my grandma naked and it made me want to kill myself. No matter how much I tried, no matter how much I screamed for help. But Grandpa was just smiling like she was a pin up in a calendar. And then I realized why he had cataracts in his eyes. Thank you. All right. Well, if there ain't no request, Bobby Durkin's going to go away, and I'm going to bring back this slick back horrible.
I got two different requests here.
Really? What are they?
One says, tell Bobby to make a song about hillbilly UGA fans. Yeah, right. And then RG says, play a song about the Bucknuts, so about Ohio State.
Lord, I'm telling you, my songwriting skills ain't kicking in right now, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm completely and totally sober. Okay, we'll give it a try, and if it falls flat on its face for South Carolina fans, you're used to that. Georgia's gonna win it again. Georgia's gonna win it again. That redneck in that big old Ford truck said they're gonna win it again. If he don't, he's gonna go home and punch his wife in the mouth. They're gonna win it again. Georgia's gonna win it again. But I won't be surprised when we lose to South Carolina because they're in the SEC. I won't be surprised when we lose to Auburn, though they lost last week to the bunch of blind kids from Alabama. We're going to win it again. We're going to win it again. The last time we won it, the really big game, Michael Jackson was doing the moonwalk. But we're going to win it again. Go Dogs. That's really bad, but you put me on the spot. There we go. Buck nuts. The buck nuts. I'm going to go back to, I'm going to regurgitate one from a few years ago. I did this for the buck nuts. Such a decorated team. And they still can't beat us. I can't remember the chord structure, so I'm just going to make up something. Ohio State is full of a bunch of Quakers and northern rednecks who sits around and talks about how good their football team is. So what, you beat Michigan because they suck. This is living in the life of a Ohio State buck nut. Don't say Clemson, cause they piss their pants. They'll think about the time Justin Ross caught that ball, but if he runned it and make anything really, really slow, it'll look like it happened, though in real time he didn't fumble the ball. What about Trevor Lawrence and his 6'6" white boy from Cartersville, Georgia, outrunning your entire team? Did the refs do that? No, they didn't. It's the life of the buck nuts. What about when your quarterback threw the ball straight to Nolan Turner? What about the time we're down 14 or 16 to nothing, but we come back and beat you? This is the life of the buck nuts. It's the life of the buck nuts. I hope you enjoy Myrtle Beach.
Oh, now that was great.
Thank you. I reached out around my anus and pulled that one out.
Yeah.
Anything else, I'm going to go away. Bartholomew Bob the Barter says this man is going American Idol. I will make COVID-19 great again.
Yeah.
Here's, I got a COVID-19 song for you. I'm just going to make off the...
Bubba Clemson says he can't wait for the Bobby Durkins live double album. I'm still waiting on that too.
I called my buddy the other day and asked him, I said, hey, you remember about 3 years ago when I sent you over a whole bunch of award-winning platinum record songs? And he said, yeah. I said, you remember when you mixed down 2 of them? And they were, I mean, Lord, there was, my wife got mad because women were throwing themselves at me. Lord, I'd be sitting at church and a woman across the row from me, she'd be trying to show me your upper thigh. And I was like, Mrs. Elma, she's about 78, put your garter down. We're in here learning about the Lord. I mean, that's just what I had to put up with. But I called him, I said, what about those other 8 songs? He lost them. So he's going to have to find them. I've been thinking about going to a bunch of campgrounds and militias and recording a live album. I don't know if it'll work or not. COVID-19 song. How's that mask working out on your face? Isn't it keeping you from getting sick? I don't buy it, because if a fart can go through my butt cheeks, inside your body. There we go. That's really my worst piece of work, but there we go. That was my statement on the mask. Listen, I'm going to have to go because I need a beer to be this way.
Yeah, we're about to end the show anyways.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna let y'all be good. Lord be with you. Y'all all be good. Don't kiss anybody ugly. And if you do, you better be drunk. So y'all be good. I'm gonna get that loser back over here with the greased hair and the fake laugh. What do I hear in the background?
You probably hear one of my kids.
They sound constructive. My kids, anytime I hear them, it's really quiet and then a boom. I've got great kids, but no, just like a boom.
You'll understand. Everything will be completely silent and quiet. I mean, you could hear a mouse fart around here until I come up here and boot the computer up to go on the air. Yeah. Then it turns down to a madhouse down there. Yeah. And that's just how it works around here.
Have you ever noticed it? So when me and my wife so I started, if you ever notice, and then I start on a story, you know me, ADD. So I was a bachelor for a very long time, and me and my wife got married right before I turned 30. Okay, I'm going somewhere with this. Well, she already had a son. He was 4 years old. So I'd been around children, not that much. So I noticed, and it's true with Bobby Jr. You know, he's 4, and now, you know, my stepson, my son, he's now about 14. So we've been together that long, but I did not notice in it, but I realized it really quick. Like you said, you can be doing nothing. It's quiet, blah 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 blah. I noticed this one night. I was watching some type of TV show. They were gonna have some band I love playing on there. I sat through 2.5 of worthless show to watch the show that the band I wanted to play. He'd been sitting there just like a good little kid, and as soon as the band comes on, he grabs a toy. And he starts, and we have hardwood floor. He's just started going, bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, that's how it goes around here. Probably we do the show at 7 o'clock every Tuesday. Everybody, that's probably the worst time for me to do it as far as the kids go.
Yeah, me too.
Because whenever I do my call-in shows on Wednesday and Friday night, those are at 10 p.m. And usually that little rascal he's worn out by then. Usually.
Yeah. And guess who was the one who suggested this time that we do the show? Me.
Well, that's all right.
My wife asked me, she was like, hey, I'm glad you're doing the show because I know you guys like working together and you got great chemistry and stuff. Did you suggest that time? And I was like, yeah.
Slim Shady with the $5 says, this is for the empty guitar case not sitting on the ground.
Thank you, sir. That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else you have to say before we end tonight's fantastic and amazing show, as you put it earlier?
Oh my God, man! We're all sitting here in the middle of July, just begging God for football. This is how much it means to us, and
it's pretty sad.
This is how much it means to us, and so I hope we have it. I am leaning towards the negative. I admit it. I lean towards the negative that it could not be seen as. I don't know. I could talk for 20 minutes about what I think there, but I just hope we have it. I think the country needs it. I think working people like us and we need it. We really do.
So the last thing I'll say about this is because you just reminded me of something right there. Did you see the quote from Ed Orgeron today? So basically, I don't know. Oh, it'd probably take me too long to pull it up. He basically said he thinks we're going to have football. He thinks we need football for the country. Now, Dabo Sweeney said the same thing, whatever it was 6 weeks ago or whatever. He got crucified for saying that.
Yeah, of course.
Saying all he cared about winning and this and that. I don't see the criticism coming out to Ed Orgeron for saying the same exact thing, almost verbatim. But I happen to think, and I don't even know if I want to go down this road, but I do happen to think that there's also some very, very negative consequences for a lot of different people, even, not just on the football team, but for the university and for the towns that support the university. If we don't have a season, it could be devastating. Now, that doesn't mean that's enough reason to have a season. But the best thing that can happen is we have some sort of a season and nothing crazy happens,
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, it's a good depressing way to end the show. Thanks, Bobby.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there we go.
Anything you want to promote on YouTube?
Oh, well, I am, and you and I haven't talked about this. I'm working on BobbyDurkins.com right now.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
Did we talk about that? BobbyDurkins.com.
Yeah.
I'm working on it right now. It's taking a little more time than what I want, but just basically, you'll get. I'll put more details out about. I'm really, really excited about. I've been wanting to do this since I started the whole Bobby Durkins thing almost 4 years ago, and so this is a lot of fun, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. So yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, good. Yeah, we'll go check that out, or let us know when that's fully up and running, and we'll go check it out for sure.
Yeah, awesome.
And then, of course, I have my live show tomorrow night, call-in show every Wednesday night, 10 p.m. I have a show this Thursday with John from Always Irish, the Always Pigskin show. That'll be on Thursday night. And then, of course, another amazing and fantastic call-in show Friday night at 10 p.m. So thank you all for showing up. Too many of you to name. Thank you to Slim Shady Canes for the several donations. So I guess that's it, guys. We'll see you next week.
Yeah,
if we're still alive.
If we're still alive. Yes.
All right.
Take care, brother.
See you, everybody.